Okay, so it's been so long since I've done this, it almost feels kind of fucking weird. But I do quite well remember that most of you have a short attention span, so I'll try to keep everything compressed. If I do ramble a little bit, I guess I'll make a pinned post with like timestamps. So there's been quite a few people that have hit me up over the past month or so about like the website being everything sold out. The reason why everything is sold out is not because of lack of inventory. It's mainly because lack of people's ability to follow instructions. I can't remember how far back it's been now. It's been a long while, but I had an order that came through that I couldn't fulfill because the particular piston that was purchased wasn't in stock. Now, normally, what I would do is that person would eventually contact me, and I would be able to have a discussion. Like, hey, look, I can't get you that, but I can get you alternative. So we'd have that discussion, and the alternative is sent instead. We're mainly here. This being the concern is the RRC piston. The RRC piston for the K series is the most popular Nimba racing piston that sells, and because of this, it's like frequently sold out, especially like in standard size, which kind of surprised me that there's still so many people buying that. But anyway, so I had one order where the person bought the pistons, and I was gonna do a refund. I was gonna issue a refund because after a couple days the guy didn't hit me up. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna just send an alternative piston without speaking to the person first. And I absolutely refused to deal with the email mess. Um, so I was like, all right, well, I'll just refund it, right? And then I found out, uh, in a rather surprising shock, it was going to cost me $60 to refund the purchase. Um, I was like, I didn't gain any money, and I'm gonna have to issue a refund because this person is not reaching out to contact, and also because even though like I said on most of the videos, hey, if you're gonna buy something, talk to me first just to make sure everything's available before finalizing any orders. Right now, I know that some people still like to use websites, but I think mine's Big Cartel, the one I use right now, and Big Cartel charges like they charge per item sold. Now, the website was always mainly was like of course I'm paying for it monthly, but the main thing for the website was just like to have a like a shopping chart. Like, hey, look, if it's mainly for engine blocks when I was building and selling a lot of engine blocks and cylinder heads and whatnot. Like, hey, like people like, hey, how much does this cost? How much does that cost? A lot of people window shop. I don't have patience to deal with window shoppers all the time. The majority of my DMs, even now, are people who are just asking questions I've already answered a million times, are window shoppers. Um, so I put that there to try and eliminate those redundant questions that people ask and then disappear. Uh, time is important, and I don't have infinite time, and I don't want to spend the majority of my day answering stupid questions, or answering questions I've already the information's out there for. So that was the main thing for the website. Now, if people want to purchase from the website, more power to you. Of course, I'm okay with that. But the problem is, like, I have to charge you more money because they charge me to sell, right? So it's not just the fact that they're charging me a membership fee every month, but they also charge me per item sold. So that's why I always told everybody, look, just hit me up directly. I send you a PayPal invoice. Yes, the PayPal invoice is going to have a PayPal fee on it, but ultimately that PayPal fee is much smaller in comparison to what the Big Cartel fee is. Like, you'll easily pay a $60 to $80 markup on certain items if you're buying through Big Cartel versus me getting through PayPal. You're still getting invoices, still goods and services, all that good stuff. And as far as that refund, what I did was I just left that money in PayPal. Of course, eventually, after like a month or so, the person, or after a substantial amount of time went through, the person put a claim through. Eventually, PayPal took the money and sent it back to them, which again, more power to it like that. I figured if eventually this person would reach out, this is the only time where I deliberately left an unchallenged somebody to return the money. I've never had that happen to me before, and that person never once tried to reach out to me on social media to find out what was going on. So I'm just like, that was like the last straw in the bucket for frustrations for me. As you guys can see, like, I haven't posted in like 7 months, right? The past year and a half, like, my business kind of died off, and I know that part of that, it was the administration change, going from Trump to Biden, and all the money that went out for COVID got sucked back in, right? It was like an atomic blast where everything got pushed out and everything got sucked back in when the money started to dry up. Now, also a big part of that was because I found out the hard way that my sales are directly linked to my content uploads. Now, while I've never had a massive amount of views on my videos, I've never had a good monetization. I mean, I make a little tiny bit of money from YouTube. The majority of my money and income has come from people seeing the videos and coming through to shop and buy. Now, I still sell, pistons and whatnot, but it's just the amount I sell has gone down so much that I don't even bother like to pay attention anymore. It's just like a little bit of extra money here and there. So there's that, right? As far as me personally, another reason why I just like not really tried to get back in YouTube, because I've had a couple ideas every once in a while to jump on. I just don't have the energy, man. Especially recently, the past 3 months or so, 3.5 months, I left. I'm a diesel mechanic. For some of you guys that don't know this, heavy duty diesel. I left my fleet job because I was kind of aggravated in the situation I was dealing with there, and that's a job I had for almost 4 years. But I left there to go to another place that gave me a $2 raise. That I got it. They lied me into that company. They lied to me in the interview for what they were hiring me for. Of course, that naturally pissed me off. So eventually I left, and my last place to really go to was a dealership. Now, for those of you guys that are following me on Instagram, you've seen that I recently rebuilt a big Detroit engine. Yeah, that was like my first month in a dealer, and I was building engines there. Anyway, the dealership obviously isn't like fleet. It's hard. It's hard work, and of course, it's all like the time, because you're dealing with customer pay and all that stuff, and the dealership charges like $200 an hour. Time is literally money. Time is everything. Everything is time in the dealership. For the dealership guys out there who know this, and so it's extreme amount of stress. Can I do any job? Yeah. When you put a definitive time limit on it and there's no leeway, or there's very little leeway, it makes it stressful. I haven't done like a basic oil change in like a month, or no, I did one the other day, but the last one before that was almost 2 months. So it's like a lot of yanking transmissions off trucks. It's just everything's heavy. Obviously, fleet shop still with the basic stuff. Dealerships catch all the high end heavy shit. So I'm drained. I'm fucking just, I'm dead tired all the time. So again, like I said, I don't have the energy or the desire to put into YouTube. And as far as like for you wonder what happened to the S2K, still crank no start since March. Nobody wants to help me out with it. There's very, very few amount of people that I trust personally that would do it. Beyond that, I would have to go to like a premier repair shop, and I'm not gonna get smacked up for troubleshooting labor and all that shit. Plus, I just don't have the extra money to do anymore, because the money's dried up, and the nature of the way things are gone. We're just going off of regular 9-to-5 income for me and the wife, and everything is going up in price down in South Florida. We've had 2 rent hikes. Insurance has went up. Car insurance went up like 3 times. We went from like $300 or $290. It went from like $290 a month to $550 a month in the span of 1 year. So it just, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I tried what I could do to try and keep everything going with VHP engines, and it's just like it didn't work out. I did like the sponsorship thing. I finally got my engine to a race car, and dude was out there winning races. I thought maybe that would give me a couple of sales, but that seemed to like not go anywhere either. Like that's despite the success for that whole project, nothing's come of it. Now next season that guy's going into a K, and we're gonna see about putting together a K series for him. But because of the fact that he races in a very specific class, I don't think that I can give him any of the K series long blocks I have later on my house. So that would probably be K built from scratch, but free labor at least I could do. Um, as far as like future plans or whatnot, I've always said that the channel's not dead. As long as I have something to talk about, I'll post. I don't have anything to talk about. It seems like the one video that's kind of getting the most traction that's still kind of going around, which makes sense because it's relevant, is the me talking about the L15. And I've had a couple ideas to come in based on that. But even if I do, it's gonna be like a one-off. Like you're not gonna. It's not like I can make a whole video series based on it. I've talked about it in 2 separate videos, so I've talked about it twice. The engines, the L15 is a piece of shit. People are not wanting to let that sink in, but it's whatever. It'll sink in. It's still we're still dealing with it. Still current generation. But uh, as far as the future, like VHP engines as a business, what the plans do I have? Every single time I stop and I think about it, I put effort into thinking about it, I go back to the same thing. I need to be able to sell locally. Right now, of course, everything is drop shipped. 100% transparency. I've said that a million times before. When you guys buy directly through me, I don't have product in hand. Like I'm going to the boss man at Nippon Racing, and he's doing everything. Now there's the benefit of ordering through me directly instead of ordering through eBay is the boss man over there. He tends to ship insanely fast. Like when I'm going directly through him. Like so, I put in just my last 2 overseas sales were the Netherlands and Australia, and I believe both the order was put in and received in like a week. So that's pretty fast. And even to Canada, I think it was like a 2-day thing. So overseas shipping, you see the benefit there because it's hella fast for shipping. Everybody who's received from me overseas or over the years is also the same thing. It's been really fast. And even locally, like U.S. stateside, everything's always been really fast. So yeah, there's that. Plus, of course, you're helping me out directly. Like, you're gonna buy the product anyway. You're gonna pay the same price you're gonna pay for it if you paid through eBay. This way, just get this. It's like a little thank you for me. When you're buying the product through me, yeah, you're just putting a little bit in my pocket versus like you paying for Patreon or whatever, where you're just donating for potential content or just donating to donate. This way, you're still getting whatever you're gonna buy anyway at the same price. You're just showing a little appreciation by this and going through me, which of course, like I said, it benefits you from really fast shipping. But okay, so again, like I said, it's the secret. I think to being able to do this properly would be able to have set up a shop locally. The drop shipping thing is cool to be able to because literally the planet seems to be the reach at that point. I haven't had a place come up yet where I haven't been able to ship to, or that the boss man's unwilling to ship to. But I need to be able to sell more frequently, and 1 or 2 sales a month is not that great. And honestly, it's not even that. Like, it's to the point now where it's like 1 or 2 sales a quarter of a year. So at the end of the day, we're talking about tiniest pebbles into a pond, not making any difference. I do believe the fact that everybody who sells like performance parts locally, they all charge a premium because you're going and paying for it same day. So people are buying things from eBay, receiving it, putting a fucking like $30 markup on it, and reselling it local. And most people, despite the fact that they even know that they're being ripped, are paying that cost anyway because they need it right now. They don't have to wait. And then on top of that, people are willing to pay that cost because you feel like it's more justified because you're going to a legitimate business, because it's a on-site location that you can walk into, pick it up and pay and walk out. So I would like to do the same. I've said this for years. That's the key. The key to success for VHP engines would be prioritizing selling parts, because it's something I can do without having to put labor hours into it. You're doing simple transaction where no labor is involved, and so of course you're making more money, with time spent, which would be great. What I would like to do would be able to have a small inventory and give it a go, going back on Facebook Marketplace or whatever and listing things for sale there. And if it starts to take off, get more product, and then maybe rent a spot. And once a legitimate business location has been established, then I could sell out of there, and I think it would. I think it would really work. I think it would make all kinds of money. The only thing is, I would like to have at least a couple $1,000s worth of inventory, which a couple $1,000s really isn't that much. But like buy some of the key things I know the people are gonna buy quickly, and then sell from there, and then restock. Like for every 2 items sold, use the profits from one to or this one of those to restock inventory and whatnot. So yeah, it's just that, and times have just been too tight for me to come up with any money to spare to be able to make that initial leap to be able to do this. To be 100% honest, like the smartest thing ever would have been me to do instead of buying that S2000 was to take maybe like a third of that money I spent on that car to buy inventory to start doing that, and I might be a pretty, I'd probably have a pretty decent income right now, but I probably wouldn't even have a job. But it is what it is. Things were where they are. Right now, I don't know the S2000. I just, again, I'm fucking tired all the time. And starting next year, I've been put on the Saturday schedule, so I'm only going to have 3 weekends a month that are going to be mine, because once a month I'm always going to be working a Saturday from now or the foreseeable future until I can get out of here. And I don't think I'm going to be able to leave the dealership anytime soon, simply because of the fact that, yeah, there's a lot of places that need mechanics, but the places that have the need mechanics aren't really the greatest places to go to. And I don't think I'm going to go back to fleet anytime soon for several reasons. One, because I just hate doing menial labor. I don't care how easy it is or how much they pay. I fucking hate doing it. But and two, like finding a fleet that's worth going to. So I don't know. Right now, I've been, of course, for the past 3 or 4 years, maybe even 5 years, I played with the idea about going to Orlando. But now even Orlando is starting to creep up in price, so I don't know about that right now. Like, I think my biggest focus is probably going to a place where my money means more, like, and the cost of living is just way cheaper. Because right now, yes, making video content is free, but if I don't have anything to talk about, I can't make no content, and I can't invest in any product without being able to have disposable funds, which I don't have right now. And that's also the main reason why the S2Ks is sitting, because I'm dead ass tired. When I finally get free time, I'm not thinking about going out in the sun and troubleshooting. I'll never be able to afford a house with a garage down here. Rent's just getting insanely high. Like, it went from being that the average for rent for a place that I have is like $1,800 a month to now it's like $2,600 a month. And that's just in the past couple of years. So I don't know, guys. This is mainly just to kind of like talk about the whole what's going on with the website. You guys can still order from me. You just have to hit me up. I'm not, if I'm not the quickest person in the world to respond, and you want to go off to somebody else, that's also fine. But yeah, it tends to be you have to reach out to me several times before I get it done, just because I don't like stopping what I'm doing during the day to talk to other people, to double check the inventory's there, to go back to you, to double check that you still want to buy, to make invoices, to send it out for them to never get completed, and the person who asked me disappear. Yeah, again, if I was selling like 5 or 6 items a day, and or if I had 10 inquiries a day for a product, and like 3 or 4 of those people didn't pull through, but the rest did, it'd be different. I'd be able to be more willing to chalk up with it. But it doesn't happen often enough anymore. And when it does, like 9 out of 10 times, that person just asks, and then disappears. So yeah, you got to be persistent with me if you want to do business with me right now, just because of the fact that I don't want to waste my time. All right, yeah, I guess that's more than enough right now. 19 minutes going on. Yep. So there's that. Maybe you'll see some uploads from me in the near future. Who knows? Maybe you won't see anything until I go to figure out what case series we're going to put in this guy's car. Or if by some miracle chance the S2000 gets done anytime soon. Doubtful. There's some stuff there. But yeah, right now, as far as the S2000 goes, as far as I'm concerned, I would like to get the car running again, tune it, and then sell it. Because I could use that money right now to get the fuck out of the situation I'm in, which is just being stuck in a place where I can't do anything except pay bills. And who knows, maybe I can get my ass back out to Texas or whatnot. I can actually start working on cars. And right now, I care way more about my Integra than I do the S2000. funny enough because I'd like to do a K series all wheel drive. You know, I have most of this. Well, I wouldn't say most. I have a decent amount of stuff to get started with that. I just need a place to work. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I don't mean to sound like a downer or whatnot, but it just is what it is. All right, guys. Peace.